Hey guys, welcome to another recap of Survivor, Heroes vs. Villains. If you remember last week, Sugar was sent home. Well, this week it is raining, and it's cold, and it's miserable. And Boston Rob is like, all these people want to do is just sit around all day. Who would have thought that Boston Rob was the only one who was willing to do any work on the Villains tribe? I got 3 words for you. Jerri and Coach. Alright, so the villains are on their 5th shelter design, or should I say redesign. Their tribe is totally like the Bad News Bears. And Rob is like the good coach, though. Who would have thought? And I never would have thought Boston Rob would have been like a good guy. So at the Heroes tribe, everyone is working and whistling. They're a whole hive full of not drones. Everyone, you know, it's sickening. But Rupert, he's starting to get a little annoyed with Stephanie, and Stephanie is getting annoyed at Rupert right back. So the two of them... Alright, so Boston Rob's really getting frustrated now, and he goes for a little stroll out in the woods. It was a pretty short stroll, though, because he definitely passed out. And Jerri saw the whole thing, so she runs and gets help after he tells her to. She kind of revives him a little bit. And the medics and Jeff arrive. And they kind of bring him around. He said he didn't remember too much. They give him some water. Jeff is like, you look worse than you actually are, say the medics. And Rob's estrogen level must have shot through the roof because he had a little crying jag. And it's getting the best of me. That was the whole tease from last week. Jeff is quite amused. And Boston Rob has an epiphany. He needs to be the bad guy. After all, he is on the Villains tribe, and he respects the game of Survivor so much, it's his life. So when they get back to camp, Russell was all worried. He does have a heart inside there, that big chest. Alright, so it's time for the challenge, and it's not only reward, it is immunity as well. And the reward is for tarp, rope, and nails. Pretty damn good when it's raining all the time. So this is the way it works. This is another one of those previously run immunity challenges. So they have to build a staircase by moving these blocks across the field, 2 players at a time from each tribe. And the first tribe to correctly build their staircase with the tribe name on the side of it and getting the whole tribe to the top is the winner. So they have uneven numbers, so Randy and Courtney from the Villains sat out, and Rupert sat out from the Heroes. So the Heroes, as usual, had an early lead. But guess what, kids? They suck at puzzles. So that lead quickly evaporated. Now, I gotta know, did anybody else notice that Parvati took a header? It looked like it really hurt a lot, but then she didn't seem to be too bothered by it. So maybe she was just like moving out of the way or something. Not quite sure. So the villains were working together like a friggin' machine because Boston Rob told everybody to shut up and just listen to him. Excellent strategy. The Heroes, on the other hand, they were all chiefs and no Indians. So everybody was talking and no one was listening. At the end of the challenge, James, well, during the challenge too, James was friggin' pissed. And he thinks Stephanie needs to shut up and go. Nobody listened to JT, and JT had done the challenge before, so he knew what the score was. So Tom is pissed at James, but since Tom is a little bitch, he's not going to say anything to James, because then that's going to reveal his alliance. Russell is jealous of Rob back at the villain tribe, so I don't know whether Survivor planted these chickens on the island, or there's just naturally chickens and roosters on the island, but some chickens came flying into or around camp, and Russell ended up catching one. So he was pretty proud of himself that he provided some food for the tribe, especially since Rob brought back a magic clam. So JT is in a little quandary, because back at the Heroes tribe, he's in 2 alliances. And that's not cool because the vote is pretty much going to be split this week between Stephanie and Amanda. So Tom, Colby, and Stephanie, they're in a pretty tight alliance. They're going to try and get Amanda out. And they're going to try and do that by convincing Candice and Cirie to vote Amanda out. It's a tough one. So at the tribal treehouse, JT is embarrassed at the loss. James then calls out Stephanie. They have a little bit of a tussle. And I think they should get a room. I think they probably really love each other. Not really. But then Colby steps in because Colby's all, I'm a hero. I didn't appreciate that, Colby. Let Stephanie fight her own battles. But then Tom steps in when James wouldn't back off of Colby. What a bunch of losers. And in the process, Tom reveals his alliance. So Jeff wants to know, are past relationships going to come back to haunt you during this heroes versus villains? If you're a smart player, you won't let them. That's what I say. So it's time to vote, and Stephanie is voted out by at least 5 votes. Thank God, because I like Stephanie in her season, but I just do not like her in this season at all. So a little parting shot to James. She told him, let me give you some advice. Don't curse out your tribe next time you lose, whatever. And he said, you keep your mouth shut. So yeah, next week, James is going to the dark side. That's right. He's going from Superman to the evil cousin, Superman. So yeah, till next week, much love.